Hey everybody, it's Jane Johnston with the BriarHillGroup at REMAX, Camosun, and
it's Andrew Plank with LePage. Hey everybody. Hello.
Oh, Andrew, congratulations on your award, by the way.
Oh yeah, thanks so much. Surprise. COVID
awesome.
Years, surprises.
What do you think made the difference for you between last year and this year in real estate?
Wait a sec. Are you talking last year being 2019 and versus 2020? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there were some personal issues going on with health with family members and recovery of that and all of that. There was just also changing brokerages helped. And things just sort of, it's really hard to say, but I did not do too well the first part of the year in 2020. It was really slow because of COVID and was self-isolating. And then after sort of the first half, things took off, and it's my second best year on record.
Awesome.
Yeah, top 10% at the office. And Jane, of course, you would have done pretty amazing as well.
I did. Our office doesn't give us results, but I'm told I'm going to be top 1 or 2 agent in my office, individual agent.
Right. So. Yeah, because we separated out by teams as well.
Yeah.
When there's some of those. Yeah.
Okay, so today, welcome everybody. Today we're going to be talking about what happened in 2020. We're going to look back, and then we're just going to predict quickly what's going to happen this coming year. So let's get started in the statistics, and I've got this awesome presentation.
Look at this for 2021 in the game.
Here we go. She said.
Are you kidding me? Seriously?
Okay, so overall.
For the record, I didn't get that.
8,497 properties sold in 2020. That's up 17.1% over 2019. Surprised?
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah.
I have a dollar sign beside this, but over 1,000 more sales than the normal 10-year average of 7,329. So we are up over. Yeah.
Yeah, which is what you said. Yeah, for sure. It's a lot, especially given a year that I would say, if you looked at the stats, the first, as I mentioned, the first, third at least, was not much business happening at all.
Exactly. So the factors obviously affecting this were initially the pandemic, but then everything kind of rebounded. I don't think anybody saw that happening.
A few people did, but of course there's always people who will see or at least predict these things.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. It definitely wasn't me.
Well, we did have some people who were looking at condos because the price of condos went down 15%. And then you and I did some research to see whether or not condos were being affected differently than homes. And we did find statistically that was true. So we're seeing this in the numbers here.
Yeah.
Okay, inventory. Holy smokes.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about today's inventory. After we finish this, we're going to run through it, and that number is even lower. Or no, sorry, never mind. It's not. It's actually up from December 2020, but it's still stupid low.
Yeah, so we're down year over year 34.5%. What I told people was to keep your house on the market in December because there was a high chance it would sell. Yeah. New inventory, I think, was around 400, and sales were over 6. So.
Right.
Okay, so we have a record low increased demand. And what happened was people were moving to the outer areas, including Colwood and Langford and Highlands have done very well.
Metchosin has done really well. I've seen some properties in Metchosin where I would have thought, no, there was a foreclosure. You and I both were aware of that one foreclosure. Really needed a lot of work. Needed a new septic field, new roof, there were leaks all throughout it. And it went for much more than I thought it would. So yeah, we're seeing, yeah, foreclosures not always great. Go ahead.
So foreclosures are not a guaranteed buy. If you go to court, other people can offer on it. Okay, so this is what we were talking about, list to sales. If the solid lines are the listings and the God, what do you call that?
So we're talking about the bars versus the lines, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the bars are.
They show the seasonal fluctuations. You can see that we moved from a normal high in May to that happening in July. So everything shifted over 2 months.
Yep.
Which is why December was still busy, I think.
Yep.
But look at those sales over July, August, and September and October, like unusually steady.
Like you said, I've been also telling people that if you are thinking of selling, I would normally say wait till the spring, wait till there's the birds are singing and the flowers are out. But with a super low inventory, and I expect other people are going to be waiting for the spring. Get your home on market now, especially if you have to buy something else. And that's exactly what these stats have been showing us. Is it's time if you want to sell. And people might say, well, let's wait and see what happens with prices. Prices probably will drop. They do rise in the spring generally. We're going to talk about that, I guess, when we do predictions. So that's possible, but that also means if you are selling and then buying, it will cost you more to buy. So again, get your home sold now, and so you can be ready to buy when the inventory comes up before other folks are ready to buy.
Right. So, and actually what you're talking about speaks to the ratio down below, which shows that we've gone from a buyer's market in April to a strong seller's market of almost 70% ratio. So 30% is 20 to 30% is a balanced market.
So the months aren't coming up. They're just cut off by the he said, she said, they said. So the lowest dip on that sales to active ratio, are you saying that's from April 2020?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And then coming up to today.
Okay. So just looking at average price in December, it was $992. Median was $901. And that's overall single family homes.
Yeah.
In Greater Victoria. This is very interesting to me because in November the average was $1.1 million.
Yeah.
With a median of 909. And so what that's telling me, the median tells me that the market is stable, but the average tells me is that there are more high priced homes coming on the market.
And selling.
Yeah. Yeah. And so this is $100,000 higher than it was last year.
Yep. And we've reached that tipping point, I guess, where, $1 million was considered a luxury home at one point and not too long ago for Victoria. And hitting that point where it's become the average home is going to, I think, really change the psychology of buying. And we've also mentioned before that there's sort of a cutoff for your down payment at $1 million. You can no longer do a high ratio mortgage once you're at $1 million or more. So it makes it more difficult for the average first-time buyer here in Victoria, or even the unaverage first-time buyer.
And what Andrew's saying is a high ratio mortgage is where you have 20% down. You need to have 20% down automatically now if you buy over $1 million. And so what that does is it's really the tail wagging the dog a bit. And so people are trying to price just under $1 million so that they get those buyers who can buy with 5% down.
Yeah, once you reach the upper atmosphere in terms of your price, which is up above $1 million, you lose a lot of buyers who are just not going to be qualified. And that hasn't changed from years past. What has changed is just that the average price has come to the $1 million mark, so that it's become much harder for people to buy an average home.
And it kind of reminds me, I know this is going to sound silly, but do you remember when the price of gas was 99 cents?
Yeah.
And it hovered and it hovered and it hovered. And then all of a sudden it was like $1.25.
And a new normal. And people got used to it after an initial shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just look at condos and townhomes. This is interesting to me. So condos average was 485, median was 435, and this is both for December. Last month it was 469 and 428, and year over year 486 and 429. So we are really very steady in the condo market.
That being said, the first time condos, the cheaper condos, there's a lot of demand for those. Again, I'm working with some folks looking for investment condos. I'm working with folks looking to get into the market, and it's pretty hot actually.
I think it's just picking up just now.
Yeah.
I had a buyer. We probably looked at 40 different single or one bedroom condos, and we found that by the end of December, it was picking up, and stuff we were looking at was selling. So.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, this row townhouses.
So, Jane,
Pardon?
did you get them into a condo?
I did, and they
Good.
moved in on Thursday.
Awesome.
Okay, row townhouses 681, median 625 for December. That's up from 667 in November 2020, and year over year. It's up from 555 average and 538. So again, we're up over 16% in the median and up over 22.8% in the average. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I think there's a move more towards townhouses than condos.
If you're going to compromise between a house and another form of real estate, you're probably going to start with a compromise to a townhouse. And again, when the price point gets above $1 million and your ability to purchase an average house goes down, you might start looking at your other options.
So here's a pictorial view of single family homes.
What do you think? That probably also suggests too, though, once we do hit that gas analogy of people getting used to the $1.29 or what have you, that we might see a drop again in townhouse values as people go back to houses as they sort of learn to deal with it, I guess.
Well, if you look at the carrying cost of a townhome, if you buy it outright at 600 or 700,000, and you're paying a $300 a month strata fee or more, let's say a carrying cost for $300 is $100,000 mortgage. So it's still cheaper to live in a townhome.
I think so, eh? I mean, number one, I think that I guess you're quoting townhouses in West Shore, because it's 700. That's not really so much in Victoria. And then I usually see strata fees more than 325. They're closer to 4 for a townhouse if they're any kind of decent. And then of course for the house you have to pay for your roof and save for it and all that stuff. So I think that townhouses still can be cheaper because you still got to pay for a house. Your carrying costs for a house, people don't consider strata fees, but they should be putting money aside.
I was just looking at the average numbers, Doll.
Yeah. Thanks, baby.
Okay, so looking at average prices for single family homes, we can see what we're talking about, the fluctuation in and around $1 million up and down. And again, this is average, so it's affected by, there've been a lot of high-end homes sold this year, more so than normal, right?
Yep.
Okay, row townhomes took a bit of a dip over the 2 years, but I think if you look at this over time, it's going to look very consistent with a move up towards the $700,000 range. Condos, flat.
Pretty flat, yeah. And the price drop in March, April 2020 would be COVID related. So it's really showing flat.
Yeah. Okay. So this is sales by price range condo apartments. So you can see most active areas were Vic West and Victoria. And to me, the range has gone up. I remember when we first got into real estate oh my God, guess what? It's going to be almost 16 years ago, 15 years ago. We are now looking at condos up around the 750 range. That's not unreasonable anymore. But the majority of them are selling between the 575 and 375 range.
Yeah.
With Saanich East also being active, Saanich, because it's a little bit further out, is in a slightly lower price range. So $499 down, and you can get into something for $275. It's not going to be pretty though.
Not at all.
And then Langford is also, and Sydney have done well.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yep.
So you can get into a bigger size condo in Langford. This is not differentiating between 1 and 2 bedrooms, but that will be around the mid fours. And there is competition. There's also new construction in that price range. Okay. Hold on one second. Single family detached. We're seeing lots of movement in the $1 million range around Victoria and Vic West. And Oak Bay, obviously, we're seeing a bump up at the $2.5 million range.
Yeah, I mean, these stats are pretty hard to read. Even like on my screen, they're really small, and from I'm sure our viewers are probably going to have a hard time with this. But
sorry, they're showing up big on mine.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
I'm on a laptop, and it's a little bit difficult to read, especially I've been in this business 16 years, and my eyes aren't getting any younger.
Okay, so let's just go into sales to listing ratio. So here we see what we were talking about before. We're looking at entering into a seller's market, definitely over the last quarter. And so what are you anticipating happening this coming year?
I always think that it's going to really depend a lot on where the bigger global and economic things are going with our governments and with stimuluses and so on. But if the trend continues, we're going to continue to see low inventory, rising prices, and a lot of different, I think, strategies and competition to try to get properties both to the market and buyers trying to find themselves getting into the market. And I'm seeing a lot more unconditional offers, a lot more people taking risk as they get a little bit desperate for shelter. That being said, I'm also think we're going to see a little more migration as people with higher valued homes in the larger centers coming here, and people also cashing out here and going to the smaller centers where their money goes further. So that would be my prediction. I'd say there's going to be a little more migration and some changes in strategy, but overall, it's going to continue with quite low inventory and high prices.
Right, and I agree with that. I think that right now, well, for January, yesterday, I was in a multiple offer in a house that probably wouldn't have been so desirable. Mm-hmm. But it had 4 offers. We were second. We ended up second, unfortunately. And we had bid $30,000 over the asking price. So, which is great for the sellers because they got a good price for their home. But for my buyers, they're a bit sad. And I was sad too.
Absolutely. It's hard especially if you're writing offer after offer and you're coming in. I've been doing the same with some clients. You come in second or third, and I try to encourage my clients and say, you're in the running, and with these numbers, you're eventually going to get it. But we're going to be competing today on a property, and I believe there've been at least 4 building inspections, pre-building inspections on this property, and I expect there'll be 10, 15 offers on the property at least. And my clients are hoping to be number 1. So we will see.
Right. Actually, on my YouTube channel, I do have a little clip about how to be successful in multiple offers. It talks about the 5 elements of an offer, and I send that to my clients ahead of time because,
Yeah.
oh my God, I just need them to come out all barrels firing, because really you only have one chance to make a good first impression, especially
Yeah.
in real estate. They're going to look at price, but they're also going to look at dates, right?
Dates, absolutely. Conditions. Have you asked for something the seller just doesn't want to give? Don't piss off the seller when it's a seller's market. So if they said, I want these dates, and I'm not willing to sell that beautiful chandelier, don't ask for the chandelier and give them the dates they want. And all things being equal, write a nice letter. Sometimes it's not money that talks, and if you can personalize and create something more than just a black and white piece of paper contract in front of these people, it will go a long way for some people.
Yeah. I've got a new secret weapon, but I can't tell you in case I end up on the other side of the table from you.
Well, I was going to say, I do send some communications to my buyers before multiple offers and before offers. Here's what to expect, and here's some strategies. And certainly, it's a balancing act between protecting their interests, and we always want them to go in informed. But also, it's hard to protect interests when people are saying, I just want to make this offer, and I know I don't have my financing completely set up because nobody can unless they have absolute cash. There's always something the lender could say, and of course, even a building inspection doesn't tell you all the wheres and wherefores. And if you're just making a quick decision, a lot of folks are just saying, "Let's go unconditional."
Yeah.
And how you're going to win it, but that's maybe also how you lose it.
I think, though, that sellers are okay with you having an inspection if they've taken care of their house. If they haven't taken care of their house, they're not okay with that, because sometimes things come up. I mean, it's important, though, as a seller, you really want to reveal all the warts of your house, all the latent defects, things we can't see with a reasonable inspection. And the reason for that is because it allows us to give an informed decision. It's not what you find out, it's when you find it out. So we really want to be honest.
Yeah. Sorry, the sun is getting really bright out here on the patio. I'm like, I can't see.
Okay. Well, I think we've covered it pretty well today, though.
We've got it covered. Let's go sell some houses, Jane.
Okay, I will. So, looking forward to a good, strong year for sellers, buyers. Go in prepared, get yourself pre-qualified, get all your documents in order to your lender so that they can make a quick decision. If you're going to have more than 20% down, you're definitely going to need an appraisal. So just put that into the offer somehow, right?
Yeah. More than 20% or less than 20%?
More than 20, because you don't have CMHC
right.
insurance. So you're going to need an appraisal. Okay. Right. And next time, Andrew.
Yeah.
Wear a hat.
Okay. Nice to see you.
Okay, everybody. Have a good week. Next week, what do you want to talk about?
Animals.
What do you want to talk about next week?
Let's talk about where the market is next week, and let's talk about how our multiple offers are going.
Okay. And I think we need to talk about assessment. BC assessment.
It's that time of year, yeah, sure.
Okay. I pinched your head.
Sure.
Okay, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you later. Take care, Andrew.
Bye, Jane. Thanks.
Bye.